The ANC Ekurhuleni Regional Conference at the Indaba Hotel and Conference Centre in Fourways, north of Johannesburg. A short while ago, the nominations for various positions were announced. Let's cross now to our reporter, Canny Maphanga, who is at that conference. Very good afternoon to you once again. Canny, of course, we saw in the last hour that nominations were announced, and of course, the certain delegates, of course, accepting their nominations. And of course, now people are going in to vote. Talk to us about the latest. What's happening right now?
Good afternoon to you, Flo, and the viewers at home. As you've just stated, we completed the nomination process here at the Ekurhuleni Regional Conference. Just to give you a little bit of background with this, the branches in the region are 112, so we're expecting about 304 delegates to be voting in this process. For a nomination to qualify, it needs to be nominated by 20% of the branches in the region. So that would equate to about 22 branches. As you may understand, although with the 7 branches that had issues over the weekend that severely delayed this conference, 2 of them qualified, 5 of them will be quarantined. How we understand the process to begin is that those remaining 5 will be allowed to vote first so they can be quarantined and those votes be set aside, and then they'll continue with the rest of the delegates according to zones. Now, I just want to discuss these different nominations for each of the positions in this region. There were no additional nominations made on the floor. However, for the position of regional chairperson, 2 candidates met the regional threshold. That was Mzwandile Masina and Dr. Xhakaza. Remember, we've been talking about this region, that there are several divisions and there are clear factions, one being the Masina faction and the Xhakaza faction. As I go through these different positions, you'll see that there is a 50-50 of each faction represented in each of these positions. As you can see, both of Xhakaza and Masina accepted their nominations. For deputy chairperson was Jongizizwe Dlabiti and Teliswa Mgwaba. Both accepted their nominations. Mgwaba is aligned to the Xhakaza faction, while Dlabiti is aligned to the Masina faction. If we move to the regional secretary position, both Nokuthula Xaba and TK Ngciza accepted their nominations. Obviously, TK Ngciza is aligned to Masina's faction, while Xaba is aligned to Xhakaza. When we move to deputy secretary, the same pattern we're seeing there. Moipweni Mhlongo accepted her nomination, so did Andile Mgwevu. Moipweni is aligned with the Masina faction, Andile Mgwevu is aligned with Xhakaza. You might remember Andile Mgwevu yesterday, he was outside the Indaba Hotel supporting some of these branches that were alleging that they were being excluded from the conference to suit particular outcomes. Then we get to regional treasurer, Silos Koko and Absalom Budeli with Xhakaza, Skoko with Masina. So as you can see, those divisions are clearly there. And we understand now the ballot papers are being prepared at this venue. This might take some time. And while they're busy with that, we've been moved out of the venue. There's a closed session where there'll be an organizational report. We understand that's where most of the substantial issues will be discussed regarding the ANC in the region and the state of the ANC in the region. And perhaps some of those issues will be reflected on as discussed by David Makura yesterday when he described the scenes of this region as a war zone.
Yeah, you know, I was trying to kind of anticipate who would win in the different categories by judging, you know, the sound of the applause each candidate got. And I must say, I can't tell because it seems as though each candidate has really similar sort of support coming from the hall. So, you know, just by that, one can't really anticipate, you know, who would win. But, you know, it seems that there are clear favorites and there are underdogs from, you know, political pundits will say, political analysts will say that, you know, this person is likely to win, that person is likely to win. But just by judging by the sound of the applause and, you know, the kind of support, is it not difficult at this point to pick up who would then come out victorious?
It is very difficult to try and predict that at this stage, Flo. It's a clear 50-50 down the line. Xhakaza has his supporters, so does Masina. And all of these candidates, you heard when they accepted the nominations, there was a rousing supportive applause from both sides of the hall. So it's difficult to tell how this will go and how this issue of the 2 branches that have been qualified will affect this outcome. But at this very stage, Flo, it's extremely difficult. It's 50-50 right down the line from all these positions in the region.